Hello and good day, everyone. Welcome to Ashella and Kristal's live Q&A here on the Ashella Yardley YouTube channel. As many of you can see, it is just me currently. My apologies for us being a few minutes late here. Mom is just doing a little bit of additional clearing of our home space, and will be arriving shortly. And I am just here to tune in with all of you this morning. Welcome, welcome. Leo, A Call to the Universe, Tarot by Lupo, Angela, Monica Murray. Welcome, community. So lovely to have you here today. How is everyone doing? I see that we already have a couple of questions that are coming in. Thank you so much. I'm just going to wait until Mom joins us to begin answering everything. Greetings. Tarot by Lupo, nice to see you. Angela and Soul Tribe, right? Truly does feel like a soul tribe. Welcome, Valerie and Suzanne. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to start by having a look. Hi to all. I heard. I heard that Atlas is throwing 70 frequency at us. What's up with that? So I'm going to start by clearing the cards here with everyone's energy involved, and then we can have a look. 7D frequency, that's some pretty potent frequency to be throwing at us. I wonder, Leo, where you actually heard that. I'm curious to see, where is everyone picking these things up? Are you channeling that yourself? Have you heard someone speaking to that? There's a lot of different focus and from a lot of places on what's happening with 3i Atlas at the moment. So beautiful. Okay, question. Love it. Okay. So I'm just going to take a minute and tune in with these cards while I shuffle. Let's have a look here.
Hello everyone, I'm back. I just had to step away for a minute because I was having a coughing attack and discovered that probably I needed to do another cleanse of the house because there's been a lot of big energies moving around over the last few days. So my apologies for not being here right on the mark there, but here I am. And thank you, Kristal, for segueing and not keeping people waiting. So what are we looking at?
So I've pulled the question up from Leo that they heard that 3i Atlas is throwing 7D frequency at us, and what is up with that? I had asked curiously about where that information had come from. Always curious to hear where people are learning about these things from,
totally.
Where our different perspectives are coming in from, and if it was self-channeled or from another channel. And then these are the 3 cards that I pulled on that.
Okay, what are you feeling?
Well, it feels as though whatever frequencies 3i Atlas may be generating and bringing into our atmosphere could certainly be stirring things up for us. And I'm sure 7D frequency could have an effect along those lines. It certainly does look like what it is activating in us is big shifts that do ultimately lead to deep healing, which would be where we're wanting to go by moving into these higher dimensional states in our beings. And I feel like we're not going to really know probably for a while yet. Like it could take a couple of years for us to really discover what this whole mission through Atlas is really about, and to integrate the medicine that it's come here for.
Thank you, Kristal. Interesting looking at this. My apologies. Don't know. Something's got me. Looking at this card and seeing, you see how when the addition of that frequency, it's almost like a little gift or a little upgrade, what that coin or offering that's being put in the cup, and it creates the spillover. Do you see that? There's a suggestion that by adding something, that which something must be displaced. So like Kristal was saying, it's brought in a frequency that's going to create this, anything that can't hold space with that frequency is going to be moved somewhere else. It's going to have this spillover effect. And that creates a lot of movement, because it feels like with this card, it feels like it's happening, this is in the physical. So 1, 2, 3 dimensional reality, but it actually disrupts our physical reality. So this is where, we're going to see, it's almost like the disruptions that look like they're coming out of nowhere. Like it's sort of like, you're going along, and then all of a sudden there's all this 2D, 3D disruption. And you're like, well, where's that coming from? But it's actually because it's shifting everything that was already sort of needing to shift in the first place, is what I'm getting. And I agree with Kristal. We're going to see this. This is a long-term. Oh, can we make those? Let's make those bigger. This is a long-term process. And it does have us almost between worlds or between dimensions. Like there's a lot getting sorted out, is kind of what I'm feeling. Which is not necessarily bad or good, but really also this whole elemental energy of the water, but also the land and the earth, which really is about our emotional selves and also the physical realities and the interface between those things.
I feel like pulling a couple more on how to best work with this energy.
Perfect. Let's do that. Wow. Okay. I feel like, we were talking earlier about this ego, about the ego what does the ego try to do as we see disruption in our own emotional reality, in our physical reality? We try to make stories and control the narrative. We try to strategize, maneuver the things that are uncomfortable. And that's the ego trying to make sense of it all, right? So the mind, but look what happens here. At some point, we just surrender that this is a mystery and we can't solve it all. And it's also a karmic turning point, a karmic shift. And then this is such a birth card, right? Like the world card. It's also called the universe card in other decks. It's a lot about everything coming together at the right moment to have an upgrade or a new beginning or a birth. It's literally like the world dancer comes through the birthing canal, and she is in her birthday suit. She is, basically advancing to the next form. So there is something about us, literally, even our DNA being changed by this.
Mm.
I
love it.
Yeah. Let's look at a call to the universe. Has put a question up.
Yeah.
Are we in a timeline where events of last Wednesday will be used for unification rather than division? Would you please tell us, call to the universe, what events specifically you're referring to? I'd love to be a bit more clear with people who may not be on the same page or on a different page, or
I have a suspicion on that.
I do too, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Hi everybody. Howdy, Cassandra, Susan, Tarot by Lipple, Love Light, Angela, LMB. Okay. Oh, Akashic records may be a deep state trap. Is this true? Okay. Let's do it up. Why not? Question everything. I think I might have to do a mini rant on this. And what that relates to for me is, I've been doing this spiritual new age thing for 40 plus years now. And it's so interesting that many of these concepts that are bandied around have been since, this whole Akashic record, I'm curious to even know where that started, but I know it's been around since the 70s for sure. And it's like, for me, I never really, you choose one. That was the one I was going to choose. Good girl. I never really had a huge attachment to that concept. Like, it's funny because at some point I even had like a sort of a business name called the Akashic Eye before I evolved it into Eye of the World. And I liked the idea of Akashic records, but I always felt like it was trying to simplify something that was a lot more complicated. Does that make sense? I always felt like, okay, I get that there is basically, the suggestion is that there is a locale somewhere that all of our experiences are recorded and they are counted in to some sort of large perspective of reality, especially in this dimensional frequency band and in something like a 3D planet, for example. So it always felt a little bit to me like we were trying to talk about something that was really hard to explain. And I liked that we were at least referring to it, but I always felt a bit cheesy to me. It was like, and I even had a dream one time where I was in a giant library and I was being shown records of people's lives, and there was a ladder that slid along, like one of those old-fashioned libraries where you have the ladders that go around and you go up. And so I understand it as a metaphoric, like, tool to help us understand the concept of record keeping. I like that, but I also think it's gotten really hokey. It's gotten like, I can read the Akashic records, and it's like, I don't know. It somehow felt a little hokey to me. People got very attached, almost more to the story and the idea of it than what it represents. which is a larger spiritual concept that I don't know that you can
explain.
Yeah. How does that feel to you? And let's see what the cards say.
I mean, it's never really struck me as something that I needed to dive that deeply into, truthfully. And I don't think that's necessarily just because you haven't. I mean, maybe if you did, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, cool. These things sound cool. But
maybe, but maybe
you know,
not.
it just hasn't really
yeah.
it just hasn't really struck me as something that is in make it bigger again. I just want people to see you while you're talking.
Thanks.
However, I feel like, you know, if they're meant to be in people's path, purposeful path, their ontology, then I'm sure that they'll have a deeper impact on their as a part of their truth or as a part of what they're meant to discover in this lifetime. So I'm in curiosity with everyone here.
Yeah.
And I'm curious also to know what what the community's views on this are.
Oh my gosh, Ricky, I just have to say, that's such a cute thing you said. I got occupied watching a video on bending a spoon with our mind and almost missed the show. I'm glad you're here. I feel like, yeah, our minds are getting bent like spoons with all of this. And that's pretty good comic relief. So Suzanne is saying, I suppose it's about the intention behind all of this. Okay, what I see here, I mean, for one thing, we have two kings, right? Like, and two, how would you describe those two kings, Kristal?
You go ahead, I'm curious.
Okay, so please. Like one, almost like they're a bit like facing off, because this one is the water king and the fire king is facing off, like they're facing each other, which is interesting because in the forecast we had the water queen and the sword queen facing each other this week too. So the face off really to me is about like whose system is this? And I wonder if the whole concept of Akashic records is part of a system, a cultural system. And I'm just curious, I don't know. If anyone does know, let me know. But I'm feeling like it could be back, perhaps like Indian Vedic system or something. And then I feel like it might have got ripped off, but not in its entirety, right? Like it's not in context with the whole teaching. It's kind of like just been separated out. And it was, I feel, because this 8 of Cups, not badly aspected, but it does look like somebody was trying to hijack, because we've got Knight of Swords and the 7 of Swords strategy, and like someone trying to grab something that's a little negatively aspected. It might have been hijacked to be part of a lockdown philosophically, but that's shifting.
Yeah, I'm getting so much with this Wheel of Fortune card. I find it really interesting. Like we've got these very, like if I was to think of the Akashic records, I feel like these beings on this card would be the ones that really hold the knowledge to it. Like all the ones that are reading these books, I'm like, I feel like they are the ones that know the like what would be the true essence of the Akashic records. And that there's been a lot of it's been kind of spun out and come at from a lot of different angles through all of these different like cultures and people that may have embraced this knowledge and could potentially very much have been hijacked from all of these different angles and kind of spun out a little bit. And with all of the characters here, I feel like it's quite a mystery and we couldn't really possibly know. And yet with that being the Wheel of Fortune, it seems like we might be getting messages along the lines of revelations or, some things being revealed. As you say, you just heard that the Akashic records may be a deep state trap. I think there's going to be like potential truths about things or potential perspective truths about things that are going to be coming forward. So it does seem, though, like with this King of Cups here, like it has been supportive for people in their direction, in their healing, and that it was like we, with this judgment in the past, that we called that in as a part of our path, right? So now seems like the call is for us to take some of the wisdom and turn it into what is our own truth in this, what really resonates with me.
Yeah. And like Kristal said, like it noticing where does it align, or where is it taking you, right? Where's that whole narrative going? Like, is it trying to tell you only if you do this and only if you talk through this channel and do da 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 la 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 la? Like, no. Everything where it's telling you there's only one way to do this, I would highly be suspicious of.
In anything,
right? Yeah. So an eighth sphere, that Eight of Cups, which doesn't always mean the eighth sphere, but because we're talking about something that could be deep state, I would say there's a good likelihood that it was part of a plan among many other things that got set up in the New Age spiritual movement to not trap us in there, that each of them individually are wrong or they're completely false. But when you take a bunch of things out of context from different spiritual traditions around the world and you mash them together and call them a new spiritual science, a new age religion, and then the purpose of that, what is the driving force behind that? What's the collective narrative behind that? And why do we not talk about where they came from and what context they came out of? Why is it suddenly sprung on us like this is a new thing, right? Can we go to Angela's comment? I want to acknowledge that Angela spoke about Edgar Cayce.
Edgar Cayce, yeah, I'm seeing that.
Was accessing Akashic records in the 1930s. Not that he was the first, but his work is well recorded. And Angela, I believe, if I'm correct, that Edgar Cayce's work, I totally resonate with a lot of Edgar Cayce's channeling. And I think what's happened is that people are calling things by a name that we all recognize, right? This has become synonymous with basically records about past lives, records about different potentially timelines and narratives that have happened on this planet, consciousness, philosophies, so on. So I think it served the purpose to call it Akashic Records because we all sort of know what that means, but it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing to everybody. And when we use a term and we don't know what it meant in its original context, that can leave a lot of room for misunderstanding, basically. Yeah. You think that's right? Does that feel right to you, honey?
Yeah, I agree. And the question of it being, is it possible that this is deep state or that it's been deep state infiltrated? I suspect that the deep state is intelligent enough to know when there is good, like a good little entry point into something or something to take and, twist it in some way. And so who's to say whether or not that's happened? It looks like that is possible, but it doesn't take away from the whole of what the Akashic records were necessarily originally here for.
Totally.
So I don't see that has taken from the potency of the origin point.
But we don't get the origin point, right?
Exactly.
And so that's part of the problem. A lot of this stuff gets watered down and mashed together, and it loses its essence, and then its effectiveness it becomes more just like a parlor trick or a party trick. It becomes more this like kind of trendy phenomena, which it's probably a much more of a deep spiritual science than that, to be honest with you. A call to the universe is saying that remote viewing, tarot, mediumship is all accessing the same information in different ways, possibly. I'm curious now. I'm going to definitely do a little deep dive myself on this, because I want to say I don't actually use those words, those lexicons from the New Age movement very often. I don't talk really about Akashic records. I don't talk about spirit guides. I don't talk about, yeah, it's interesting. I'm just sort of steer away from that, because everybody's description of that is not exactly the same.
That happens in hairdressing too.
Really?
Well, everyone's description of caramel color is very different. I want a nice caramel. I'm like, oh yeah, what's that to you? There's like 500 different types of caramel hair color. It's just crazy what people think. I want caramel, but I want no brass. Anyhow, that's just like such a side note.
I want my Akashic without dark hits of caramel, please.
I just like, you can see though where it's like perception, and our different lenses are really what sets us apart.
And I just want to jump over here, and thanks, Kristal, for that good little comic relief.
Yeah,
I want to jump over here and say, Ricky is saying, yes, I can feel the energy in the spoon because everything is energy. I am thinking that this tiny moving lights I see around me is just energy in the empty space that I can see. I mean, like this, when you're describing what you're doing there, Ricky, this phenomena, like to me, this is really about what these teachings or these what would you call it, even concepts, are meant to be, like a way that we can navigate with our spiritual seeking, with our spiritual exploration, self-development. And I'm like, whatever we call it, what are we using it for? Like, what's the purpose that we're interacting with this? If we want to just be like, I'm a master of Akashic record analysis or whatever, like, okay, what are you actually saying you're doing? Like, what do you do with it? What is your purpose? What's your intention? Because just like all the work that I do, I'm like, it doesn't really matter as much what tools you use. It's the state in which your heart is aligned with your mind, mind, body, spirit alignment, open-heartedness, power neutral, not about gaining advantage or reputation or whatever, but I have a job to do. I have something I want to do. I want to support an understanding of something, and I'm going to access this information that's being shown to me or coming up in my inner awareness, and I'm less concerned about where it's coming from as the quality. I always talk about the quality of the message versus the locale or the messenger. And if you tune in and channel that message from wherever, and it lights you up on every cell, and it lights up, if you're working with someone and they have a transformative healing experience and it aligns with the greater version of themselves, and you can feel that shift. You can feel the healing energy. And otherwise, it's just either fluff or self-aggrandizement, right? So, okay. Susanna's saying, when I get downloads, I do see like a huge library, a mix between data, as in the Matrix, Xavier and X-Men, tracking souls, drawers opening and moving up, down, and sideways. And again,
amazing.
Suzanne, this is your psyche designing reference points for you so that you can say, this is how I access information. So there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's just about
maybe I'm a librarian.
maybe I'm a librarian.
Maybe you are, and maybe you have been in a past life too, right? Yeah. Love it.
Infiltrated everything, turned it upside down. So the infiltration to me is about, just to, to sort of summarize, is about taking things out of context and turning them into something that we worship the concept of it instead of the purpose of it. Like, it's not like there is no expert Akashic record keeper as far as I'm concerned. There's reasons to receive information interdimensionally, intuitively, and what are you doing with that information? That's what I'm most concerned about. Okay, so thank you, Linda. Linda's saying, exactly, Shella, how does it feel? Very important. How does it feel, and what are you doing with it? Like, what's the purpose of looking into this? Doing it for the greater good, for truth, is what Leo's saying, right? And Ricky, I'm still not able to connect with my Akashic records, but I will keep learning. Ricky,
absolutely.
Again, there's maybe, if you stop calling it that, it might be easier to go. Maybe if you say, well, I don't really know what this Akashic records is, but I would like to know more about my purpose, my soul's mission, my what past lives or ancestral narratives are relevant to me right now, and what can I do with that information? Let's look at that. That's great. That's really empowered way to talk about it. If you start talking about Akashic records, automatically it's like putting a religion over top of something, right? Like, now you have to go to the priest of that has the key to that box. Like, we all have the keys, folks. We all have the keys. You can look at your whatever, your past lives, your destiny, your soul path, however your personal spiritual narrative wants to frame it. You have access to so much information that will be helpful for you. But the more we try to label it and categorize it and claim hierarchical knowledge over this stuff, we start to get into more and more challenge.
Shall we try another one of Suzanne's questions here?
Was contacted many years ago by Metatron, Uriel, and one more silent entity. The message was U.S. rising as the new Israel, bringing light to earth. Was this real? Okay, now Suzanne, going to give you my little slightly lecture here about, again, working with any messengers. Like I always talk about, instead of focusing on the messenger, focus on the quality of the message. So, was it helpful for you to consider that the U.S. was rising as a new Israel? How was that helpful for you at that time? Was it helpful or was it hurtful? Did it confuse you? Did it offer you new expanded perception of things? Let's have a look.
Yeah. Because it's interesting. I don't know that we could necessarily say either way if it was real or not, because it was an experience that you had, it's real for you.
That's right.
And so we'll just have a look and see maybe what you may need to know now that continues to be real for you around this. Or
it's almost like if you have a dream. Let's say, put this out there to all of you, and you let me know what you feel and what that might mean to you. But if you had a dream, like, you could have what Suzanne's calling a download, but you could also have a download that came through a dream, like a literal nighttime dream, right? And let's say you had a nighttime dream where what you knew of, or maybe this being spoke to you and said, I'm Metatron and I'm Uriel, and instead of going like, okay, was it Metatron? Was it Uriel? Like, these beings are basically aggregates. I never know how to say this word, but they are representatives of a certain type of, like, a stream of consciousness and knowledge, and they represent something. So instead of going, okay, there's this entity out there that knows more than I do, and it's come to me to give me something that I don't have access to without it, it's showing you, like, so what I would do with that download is I would go and learn more about Metatron and Uriel, which you may already know a lot about, and I would look at what was the message, which you're describing, and how do you look at that message through the eyes of those two constructs, right? Because they are like an energy construct. They are based in, mythology, in story, and religious narrative. So, interesting. We have the angel. This is Gabriel, by the way. And so, again, they become symbolic representations of something. It might even be personal for you. It might not even be about the larger political arena. It might be about, what is the Israel inside of you? What does the United States represent to you? Is it a republic? Is it about a constitution? What does the state of Israel mean to you? That's what we do with dream analysis, is we break all these larger symbolic reference points down into something personal. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I do have something to say about the cards, because I'm kind of looking at the question, and while you're speaking to it, I'm looking at this death card, because for something to rise, more than likely something must fall, right? And this is an interesting card, the death card, because your comment here says bringing that Israel, U.S. rising, and the new Israel is bringing light to this earth. Well, there's a lot of fall that is occurring, and a lot of, this death card being the happy gardener here. It doesn't feel like a good thing. And yet what is rising is the light in the background. So I would say that this is a very real message for you. And that it brings a message that is meant for, whether it's for the world or not, is meant to activate that this would really be the dream in a lot of ways, that to have this light brought forward would be the ultimate healing for our whole lineages, like all our ancestry, that these things happening, like a rising of a new age, a new light, a new city, or whatever it is, that this could transform our world, could transform people, could have big impactful healing, and the time is now. So for you to see that dream as like, this is the wish fulfilled card, to see that something along the lines of that could be true for you and could be like a wish fulfilled. I mean,
and it may not be as much related to the political, like, nuts and bolts of what the state of Israel and the state of the United States is. It might be more about, what is the philosophy behind those two nations, right? It's like, so it feels like it's macro, micro, macro, that sort of thing. And I agree with Kristal. This does look like a yes. Something to do with the U.S. rising is helping us all wake up, right? Judgment, go big or go home, a new era. Like Kristal said, the death of the old and the light in the future. So very cool.
Leading to this, which is like this, real, what we ultimately would refer to as the golden age, like really, and these beings with their golden hair, there's something in it to me that does speak to healing and unity and a raising of a new light way. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Susanna's saying, never been contacted by anyone to my knowledge before, but it sure was, hey, it connected me to Quetzalcoatl and a whole lot of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have had, it's just funny that you said that, Quetzalcoatl. I don't know if you're referring to Quetzalcoatl. Anyway, I've had visitations in dreams where specific names, narratives, so on, beings, even I get book titles sometimes and I go look them up and sure enough, there it is. It's like, and it's a sort of like my own personal soul's mission of little breadcrumbs that are laid out along my own path to learn something. And I used to think, oh, well, I dreamt of that. That's one of my major missions, is to align with that. And I've discovered over the years that there's so much of that has come to me, and I'm not meant to be aligned necessarily as like the follower of any of it. It's there. It shows up when I need it along the journey, and I receive the gift, and then I move on. So that's a way to say it.
All right. Up, a call to the universe has confirmed we are in a timeline. Are we in a timeline where the events of last Wednesday surrounding Charlie Kirk will be used for unification rather than division?
Thank you for being specific. I appreciate it. Yeah. We've actually had a lot of events this week, so yeah, I was pretty sure that's what you were referring to as well. And yeah.
I'd like to know this also.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sending such big love to Charlie Kirk and wherever his spirit is gone now, and to his family and to those that have loved and followed him. And
yeah.
And gratitude for speaking his truth, I mean, we're all here to speak from the lens with which we see reality through. And
balance, reciprocity, tying things together. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So 2 7s, spirit. This was a spiritual action in terms of bringing a spiritual interesting. We were talking about the 7th dimension earlier, and we have 2 7s here. So this is a call to a higher dimensional frequency, which is causing us to have to come more into balance in the 6th dimension. And this has been a corrector in that, is what I'm feeling and seeing here.
Yeah, interesting. I feel like he was really trying to straddle our division that we're in, and was really trying to be almost I call this fellow the tightrope walker, to be kind of the tightrope walker in that, and that ultimately, in many ways, the goal was to bring people together and bring people into more of a space of, I want to say, coming back to basics, like coming back into really what we've come here for, like beyond a lot of the narratives and the programming, and come back into like what really the essence of what really matters here, which is who we are in ourselves and how we connect with other people. So I feel like he, in doing that it has, especially in the events of last Wednesday, that it has actually really brought a lot to the surface, and has done, it was like the finale of his spiritual path in this life, to really bring this illusion to the surface even more than he could maybe have done while he was in this 3D form.
Yeah.
And I think it feels like at least sixth dimension for him right now is kind of where his spirit is really being connected to.
Or 6 degrees of separation
Yeah.
from where he was, let's put it that way. And yeah, like this is, for some reason, I'm really noticing the green boot on this character. You see that boot? He's got his right foot planted and it's green. And what that feels to me like is it is like connecting to sort of like, because this is also very financially oriented. So there's something about bringing new financial energy in, like clearing an old, like, so this will bring up a lot about old financial controlling mechanisms. Like somehow the division is to bring us into awareness about financial controversy. Basically, it's to really expose more in who's funding different political parties and different, that somehow this is going to start to shake down and expose corrupt political funding is what I'm being shown. Oh, is that what you mean? Said unspiritual?
Beauty.
Yeah.
I also feel like in answer to that, yes, unification will come through this, and there will also be division. And I feel like we're not quite at the point where we are seeing one over the other yet.
Yeah, it likely will get a bit more. Let's pull a few more cards on this and see, is it going to get messier before it gets better? Or are we out of the woods yet? But this is in the potential future. So yeah, not quite there yet, I don't think. Not there yet, but
it does look like, though, like his offerings will carry on. Like what he exposed will continue to generate, will continue to kind of gather speed through this and continue to generate.
And there's going to be, I feel like
offerings.
We're going to see a bit of this, like he's been spotted somewhere else in the world. That's what I'm being shown. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's going to be seen somewhere else, and there's going to be a whole side angle of, yeah, he's going to be, for years, people are going to be seeing him in other places. And I wonder,
maybe he's got a doppelganger,
or he's, still with us on some level. So,
and Suzanne did ask about that.
Yeah.
Was Charlie Kirk really assassinated, or as part of the movie?
So again, was his character real or even real or created? So again, I get the feeling that there's going to be, maybe 3 or 4 at least weeks, maybe even months, where it just kind of dies down a bit, and then all of a sudden there's going to be this whole new, some other part of the world, and I'm kind of pointing myself off to, just trying to feel into where the heck is that, like. I don't know if it is in the Middle East or he's spotted in an airport traveling somewhere or something, but or it's Australia. I'm not sure, but I'm getting that he's spotted. It's like he starts getting spotted in all these places, and it's funny. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I shouldn't be laughing. I'm not.
The universe says, well, this event is exposing the little country in the Middle East meddling around.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm actually not laughing about the seriousness of this. What I'm laughing about is how they're showing me, it's almost like a little bit of like a Where's Waldo or something. They're going like, this isn't going to rest. Like there's going to be this ongoing, it becomes kind of a cult phenomena is what I'm hearing. Yeah, how
see that,
right? Like, Princess Di and Elvis, and like it's good. There's going to be this cult. That's a cult
JFK.
following.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cult following here, which is kind of interesting because it means that this isn't the whole movement, as Kristal said, does not die with him. This is a cult now.
Something is
The
carrying
fact
on
that
from
he
this.
left when he did, how he did, or whatever, him or the person that was playing him or whatever, and it was ended in the way it was supposedly ended. This is a lot about, yeah, exactly. This is a lot about, it's to create this lasting energy. He serves the cult phenomena better, no longer showing up as a live person. That's what I'm being shown. So, woo! I'm sorry. It's like I'm not actually laughing. It's like when I'm in channel mode and they're showing me funny pictures and kind of going, lighten up, everybody. This is perfect. Like, and they were kind of like showing me this, like, where's Waldo? That was what I was laughing about. I wasn't laughing at anybody or anyone that's just deeply affected by this. Yeah. Yeah, right? The Charlie Kirk sightings will keep his movement alive in the minds of humans. Totally.
Quite possibly.
Totally. That would freak the DS out. LOL. Yeah, it would.
Wait a minute, I thought we offed this guy. What's going on here? Just kidding.
Yeah. Right? Shot heard around the world. Yep. Totally. Reminds me of JFK Sr. going, yeah, this is, again, like, this is shockwaves. And I just keep feeling so embarrassed that I was laughing. It's just, I was like literally kind of, it was almost like cartoon things I was being shown, and I was going, oh, that's comical. Anyway, I apologize again. Ending on a light note. Remote viewers saw the attempt a couple of months ago, and I feel like they were able to warn him. Interesting. Now, does that mean that this was planned in advance fully? Like, not just by whoever was attacking, but it was an inside plan? And that's why it was so easy for the remote viewers to see it clearly?
Do we look at that?
Sure. Linda's saying, don't be embarrassed. Shall understood. Yeah. Everybody else is like deeply distressed and I'm laughing. No.
We're not deeply distressed. We're just tapping in.
Yeah. No, I'm saying out there in the world.
Of course.
So
I was going to shuffle on that question about.
Great.
Yeah. Was this pre-planned? So then that's why the remote viewers would be able to get more access to it. Who pre-planned it? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, they're jumping. Do I take those three? Yeah, just those three right there. Just these ones. Let's use these.
Okay.
They pop
Yes,
right
ma'am.
out. Right
The
out.
same three.
Same three.
And the four that popped out earlier. Yeah.
We're elbowing each other like,
check that out.
Okay. So, yeah, there's the art of illusion. It's actually so interesting that there was the discussion about, is this to divide us deeper? And I get it's about bringing us closer together. Ultimately, it will create more, smoke and mirrors. There'll be more, it'll create more reaction and distortion for a while, but ultimately it's going to consolidate. It's interesting that we go from the 6 down to the 4. What do you think of that? What do you see with that?
Well, I feel like it will be something that makes us very aware of our 4D, like that makes us very aware of this sort of reality that runs our world. So something, because we were also talking about what you were saying about the shift in the financial reality as well. So I feel like there's something that has been, he stirred up something that's going to almost shake our foundation, which is essentially what you were saying there.
But ultimately stabilize it.
Yeah.
More like bring stabilization. And again, I get economic. So like, and I guess what I'm referring to is stronger economic alliances among 4 major nations.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cassandra's saying, oh my God. I guess you're saying, oh my God, about the same cards coming out, right?
Right.
We were kind of, oh my God, about that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a question here, and I think, Kristal, what we could do is just
pass them on to my show.
Yeah, pass them on to your show on Beyond Mystic. So, because I haven't seen you before, Cat CXD, welcome. And I'm hearing that you have a personal question, and it sounds like you're open to having this looked at on a platform. And I guess we could do it here. What do you feel?
They've come in. We have a couple of minutes.
Sure, let's do it here.
Yeah.
Kristal also, for those of you that don't know, she does personal reading that are open to being, they're personal, meaning they're about your personal lives, but they're, in the public forum on her Beyond Karma show, which is later on today in just about, 3 hours or something? 2 hours.
2 hours.
Over on Beyond Mystic.
In 2 hours over on Beyond Mystic. I will be there answering personal questions and being in support in that way. But since you're here, we're happy.
Oh yeah, Tracy, Kristal's show is at
5 p.m. Eastern, yeah, and 2 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, coming up in 2 hours.
Aw, Cassandra, right? We're all really sending love and congratulations, as Suzanne said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's bring their question back up here. Yeah. And I'll have you shuffle on it as well.
Sure thing.
And, we also understand that not everyone can afford full sessions. And so that's why we do like to do these shows where we can get some questions answered. And that is also why I am answering personal questions on the Beyond Mystic show, so that I get a chance to connect with all of you that may not be able to do so on a bigger level at this moment in time.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you're feeling like it's a girl, Cat C, is that correct? You're feeling like it's a girl. Yes, I'm going to have a girl. Had dreams about a baby girl. So we do have this powerful character in the recent past. This is past, right? This is past. This is present. This is where things are headed. So I don't know if you maybe went through some challenge in trying to conceive, and there could be some way that you were worried or anxious, but this card here feels, this is the priestess, and she is the guardian of the gates between the worlds. She is also a very strong ancestral protector. So, even for example, it feels like, and for whatever reason, this has been brought forward for you to go, okay, let that go, leave that behind. Any sort of anxiety about, I don't know, something to do with, your husband's background or your partner's background, his health, family history, something like that that's been worrying you. And I feel like you've got this incredible protector here. And look at the potential future. I mean, I'm just getting the chills. It's so lovely.
So lovely.
It's so lovely. You know, the white horse. Let's pull a couple more right around this. Yep. Yes. Oh,
wow.
oh my gosh.
Oh.
So I think you're right about the girl. I think you're right about the girl. Although I almost get the feeling there was a boy that wanted to come in, and he's kind of in the background, so there might be another one that wants to come in. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Because it almost feels like he was like, you go first, you go first. Isn't that sweet?
What a gift, though. As you say, this being your rainbow child, and you can really see that this being is so strong in them, in their choice to come in already, and really, I feel like going to bring strength to you as well. And this is such a gift. What a gift! What an offering, and what a new beginning. Potentially really like clearing out a lot of the mystery of this past potential here, of this past weight. And this is a very, I mean, she is a very mysterious card, right? And so these beings that are coming in are really going to be supporting us in clearing past stuff as well. And look at this being, right? Just leading with the heart, offering the gifts to the world, coming in with such strength. And yeah, the two of you are already really united here.
Well, and Maria is talking about rainbow children. Wonderful. 3 of my 8 are rainbows. Interestingly, we don't necessarily have a rainbow here. What I'm seeing is real, because of strength. That would be a child that is very grounded. And earth-based, and maybe really good with animals, maybe even very interested in living a life close to the earth, like nature-based farming, animal husbandry, gardens, that kind of a person. And of course, this baby will be a beta child. And the beta generation, I have just such incredible excitement about them, because they are going to be very different than any of the generations we've seen since the boomers. The betas are almost like the match. They match well, they pair well with boomers. There's going to be a lot more interactive, like they're going to really resonate on that very grounded, practical, earth-based, like the boomers were the back to the land, nature loving, flower power, you know, intentional communities, living off the land people. And these beta kids that are coming up in the next 10 to 12 years are also going to be, a lot of them, not all of them, but some of them will go more into the tech world, but there will definitely be a strong counterculture movement in that generation. And I think one of yours are going to be this one. I believe this girl is going to be that.
Maria is sharing that rainbow children were after miscarriages. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Everyone is seconding Ricky's statement. Thank you for sharing this video content. I'm grateful and I adore you both, ladies. You both have such amazing tarot card reading skills, and I appreciate everything you do. We so appreciate you being here, Ricky, and thank you for sharing that.
Oh, yeah. Ricky, thank you. This is just lovely to receive your your comments.
I've also been watching Ashella for years and have learned so much from her.
And learned very well, I might add. And definitely doing her own thing as well. So this has been lovely, everybody. Have a beautiful week. And we will see you here next time. And look at whatever was here that was disruptive got cleared. Always nice to do, you know, it's like Whatever you're doing, there's always enough time. If something feels funky, take care of it.
Yeah.
Take care of it, because it dissipates, and you deserve that.
We all do.
We all do.
And I hope to see some of you this afternoon and in a couple hours here.
Yeah.
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Beyond Karma. Thank you so much for being here
Blessings,
today.
everybody.
See you next week.
Have a beautiful week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.